Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Wanted to come on here live, hoping that Marcus, who normally comments when I go live, comes on here because he actually commented, I believe it was early this morning, and asked me if I would do a video talking about the NFL games that are coming up on Thursday, and I told him I would. And since it is Thanksgiving week, I may not do a video tomorrow, or I may not do one on Thursday, the day of Thanksgiving. Good evening, Keveron. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to your family. Hopefully, you will enjoy it as much as I do. Between the football and the eating, I thoroughly enjoy Thanksgiving. Good evening to you, Austin. Hopefully, in a minute or so, Marcus will be on here. But since I'm not positive that I'll be doing a video tomorrow and Thursday, not saying that I won't, just not saying that I will. And since he asked me to do a video about the games coming up on Thursday, just in case I don't do one tomorrow, I wanted to go ahead and do it right now. You know, we've always had two NFL games on Thursday. The Dallas Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving, and the Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving. Good evening, Marcus. I was just talking about you, saying that I hope you came on here and commented. By the way, all of you on here now, please feel free to like the video, give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you share the video on all social media platforms. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. It takes about 2 seconds, and it helps the channel out tremendously. And Marcus, I was just telling everybody how I hope you come on here because you asked for a video about the games coming up on Thursday. And since it is Thanksgiving, I may do a video tomorrow night. May not, I'm not sure. We have plans tomorrow night and all day Thursday, so I probably won't do one both days, but I might. I'm not sure. And Austin, I'm not sure, man. I stay so busy right now with all the jobs that I have that I no longer ref every weekend. Hopefully, I'll be able to eventually get back to doing it every weekend, but right now, I'm not. I may be doing SCA coming up on Friday night. They're having a big show called Black Friday, so I may be there, may not. I'm not quite 100% sure because it is Thanksgiving week and we have a busy 3 days planned coming up. But on to the Thanksgiving games. As I said, the Lions have always played and the Cowboys have always played on Thanksgiving. But I guess it's been, I don't know, close to 10 years ago now. It seems like that the NFL decided to start carrying a third Thanksgiving game, and it's always on Thanksgiving night. And it seems like it's been the Dolphins every year. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems that way. So now we have the 12:30 game, which is the Detroit Lions, the 4 o'clock game, which is the Cowboys, and then the 8 o'clock game, which is the Dolphins. Now the Lions, they played for years on Thanksgiving because for a long time, especially after Barry Sanders retired, the Detroit Lions were a joke. They were awful. They were terrible. They were really bad. And the only time they were on TV was Thanksgiving because they were so bad that they're not going to be on TV on a Sunday unless you live in the Detroit market. Then maybe you get to watch them, but they're never going to be Sunday night football. They were never going to be Monday night football because they were not any good. So Thanksgiving was the only time that you really got to watch the Lions, and they were so bad you felt like you had to watch them and support them and try to figure out how a team can be that bad for as long as they were that bad. So you watched them because you kind of felt sorry for them, but now the Lions are really good. And I mentioned this in my video a few days ago that things can change between now and January, but as of right now, if I had to make a prediction, I would say the AFC championship game would be the Bills and the Chiefs, and the NFC championship game would be the Lions and the Eagles. And I think I would give a slight edge to the Eagles in the NFC and the Bills in the AFC. But the games could go either way. But I think those are clearly right now, as we sit here in the final week of November, the four best teams in the NFL, two from the AFC and two from the NFC. But Detroit's really, really good. And I think the Bears have gotten a little bit better than they were last year, but they're still not much better. And I think they're going to fire their coach when the year is over with. So in that early game, give me the Detroit Lions, and hopefully the game will be close, just so the folks that watch it will be able to watch a good competitive game and not watch a game where the Lions blow them out by 30 points. The Cowboys and Giants, give me the Cowboys. The Cowboys looked a little sloppy there for a few weeks, offensive-wise. Of course, they lost Dak Prescott, but their backup quarterback has played before he could start for 4 or 5 teams right now in the NFL, so he's not terrible. But their offense against the Commanders look like it's getting back on track, but it doesn't have to be great against the Giants. The Giants are awful. Hey there, Nick. Glad to have you here. I feel bad right now for the New York fans who are fans of either team in New York, whether it be the Giants or the Jets. Both of them are flat out awful. I mean, just terrible. And, of course, the Giants released Daniel Jones. And this past weekend, they played DeVito. He's not any good, so I think either Thursday or maybe next week you'll see their used to be third-string quarterback, now second-string quarterback Drew Lock playing. But the Giants are awful. The Cowboys don't need much offense to beat them. They could probably score 20 and beat the Giants. So give me the Cowboys in that game. And Jerry Jones did come out earlier today and say that, you know, there is a chance that Mike McCarthy might be their coach next year because everybody assumes he's getting fired. Hey there, Gator fan. He still might get fired. But he won 12 straight. He won 12 games 3 straight years. And that's hard to do. And I know they went to the playoffs and lost. But before Mike McCarthy became the Cowboys coach, there were several years that they didn't even sniff the playoffs. They couldn't even finish with a winning record. So even though he's going to the playoffs and getting beat, getting there 3 straight years is a whole lot better than what they were before he got there. But Jerry Jones is old and he's stubborn. And if he's convinced himself that Mike McCarthy is the man for the job and that Mike McCarthy is going to turn them around, ain't nobody going to change his mind. But I don't know what their record will be this year. It's definitely not going to be 12 wins. But I think they can still finish with 7 or 8 wins, and that's still respectable. But there's just a few pieces they've got to fix. Late game should be, on paper anyway, the best game of the day. The Dolphins have looked like a completely different team since they got Tua back. The Packers have been kind of back and forth all year long. Their overall record is good, but they'll have 1 or 2 really good games, and then they'll have 1 or 2 games where you kind of scratch your head and say, what happened? But on paper, this should be the best game of the day, and I think it will be. I give a slight lean to the Packers, but I think the Packers win by a touchdown. It should be a very good game, and thankfully, unlike all the other Thursday night games, I believe this game is actually going to be on NBC, so everybody should be able to watch it, and everybody should watch it because it's going to be a good game. So give me the Lions in the 12:30 slot, the Cowboys in the 4 o'clock slot, and the Packers in the 8 o'clock slot. And there's actually one college game on Thanksgiving. Hey there, Nee. Glad to have you here. It is Memphis and Tulane, and that should also be a very good game. Two teams that are going to be battling to be the highest ranked group of five team in case Boise State gets beat. Right now it's Tulane. Memphis is not ranked, but Memphis is 9-2. If they beat Tulane and finish 10-2, they'll finish ranked probably 23rd, 24th, but they'll still finish ranked. And of course, they'll pass Tulane. And if Boise State loses, they may pass them. So this game easily should determine who is the highest ranked group of five team, just in case Boise State loses, but I don't think they will. But this is the first year, off the top of my head anyway, that I can remember that Ole Miss and Mississippi State didn't play on the Thursday night. It's not always Thanksgiving, but usually rivalry weekend, the Thursday night game is Ole Miss and Mississippi State. They call that game the Egg Bowl. And maybe it changed a couple years ago, and I don't recall because Mississippi State sucked so bad. But I know back in the day growing up, the Thanksgiving night or Thursday night, depending on when Thanksgiving fell, when the rivalry weekend started, that first game was always Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But I believe they play on Friday this year. There's no college game tomorrow night. It's the first time in, I think, 6 weeks there ain't been a Wednesday night game. There's two games going on right now. One of them is on ESPN Plus, and I usually don't even mention those games. But I am right now only because it's the final week of the season. So if you're a diehard college football fan, you better watch that game just because you're running out of chances to watch. But somebody asked me a few weeks back who I thought was the worst team in college football, and I said that with the Power Four conferences, I think it's either Florida State or Mississippi State. But overall, counting the group of five conferences and everything else, it might be Kent State. They are flat out awful. And you are welcome, Marcus. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I always enjoy talking NFL. I usually just give news and notes and maybe run down some scores because it seems like, at least on the channel so far, even though we are growing, and I'm so glad we're growing, it seems like we still have more college football fans than NFL fans. And maybe there is NFL fans that just don't comment, so I don't know that they're there. But as far as the ones that I know are watching and the ones that I know comment, it seems like we have more college fans, NFL fans, and I don't want to come on here and spend 20 minutes talking NFL and nobody watch. So until I know for sure we have a lot of NFL fans, I try not to overdo it, but I enjoy talking NFL. Especially this year because unlike years past, there's no dominant team this year. I mean, the Chiefs are trying to be the first ever team to win 3 straight Super Bowls, but the Chiefs have played like dog doo-doo in just about every game this year. I mean, they made the Panthers look good this past Sunday, but they've had 3 or 4 games this year where they've played teams that were far, far, far inferior to them, and the game come down to the wire. So the Chiefs just have not played good at all for whatever reason. Patrick Mahomes even did a press conference, I want to say, after the game on Sunday, and he said, I'm happy to get the wins, but, I would love for the game to not come down to the wire every week. So he's pretty much telling his team, hey, we've got to play better. I don't know if they're just complacent because they're winning all the time now. They're just wanting the playoffs to start or what it is, but the Chiefs just don't look good right now. That's why, as of right now, I would say if I'm right, and the AFC Championship game is the Bills and the Chiefs, and the NFC is the Lions and the Eagles, I think the Bills would beat the Chiefs. But it doesn't matter because I think if the Chiefs beat the Bills and made it the winner of the Lions-Eagles game right now, as we sit here on the final week of November, would easily beat the Chiefs because the Lions and Eagles are both playing really good, and the Chiefs are not. They even went out and added Watkins to their receiver core, and he's played pretty good, but he's not a number one anymore. But he's played pretty good, but they still ain't really got much better. But right now on ESPN Plus, we have Kent State and Buffalo, and last I checked, Buffalo was shutting out Kent State. I think Kent State's 0-11. Then on ESPN2, we have Toledo and Akron. Now, Toledo played last week, either on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and I think they scored 7. Well, before I started this video tonight, they've scored 0. So the Rockets' offense is not a rocket. Right now, it's the exact opposite because they all of a sudden cannot score at all. Any thoughts on the college football playoff poll? Please feel free to leave in the comment section down below. And when I do a video, whether it's tomorrow or Thursday or both, in one of those videos, if I do 2 videos, if not, it'll be the one that I do, I'll talk about the college football playoff poll. I want to give everybody a chance to look over it. And just like I said on Monday, it's very, very, very similar to the AP poll. I figured it would be, and it is. That's why I hate when they say that they don't pay any attention to the AP poll, because that's garbage. You can't tell me that your poll is that close to theirs every week and you don't look at it. Well, you can tell me that, but I'm not going to believe that. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Took a job offer to be a conductor. I was shocked to find out it had nothing to do with music. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.